What more can we do for the 1/3 of renters in Leon County that do not have affordable housing? Are you part of those 14,000 families? You might be asking, but what about the millions in funding and all the affordable housing and existing programs? Don't they help with affordable rentals for very and extremely low-income families? No. In short, no. They do not. According to the Capital Area Justice Ministry, all affordable rental housing projects that have been built in Tallahassee since 2020 and the ones in the pipeline leave extremely and very low-income families out. These projects, 92% of these units will serve needs of people with higher incomes. That's 60, 80% or more of the area median income. None of the city or county affordable housing programs are currently explicitly focused on rental housing for very and extremely low-income families, which is the most critical need. In fact, most of our programs are targeted for homeowners, which is good, but that's not the most need. This proposed plan that we'll hear about will fund incentives to develop 100 new rental units per year for very low and extremely low-income families for 5 years. Now, this 500 might not sound like much in the context of the 14,000 families without access to affordable housing, but it's much more than we've done before, and it will be the first focused only on these families of extremely and very low income who need it the most. And my hope is that with the future success of this program, we can build on it with more funding and more units. The group with this plan is the Capital Area Justice Ministry. They're a diverse coalition of nearly 20 congregations across Tallahassee. They are maybe my favorite local advocacy group, always advocating for the most urgent needs of our neighborhoods. They do the research, get the right partners, and they use their coalition to advocate for urgent, specific action. Before I got elected to serve our county, I went to both of their public meetings, or Nehemiah Actions, where they get public officials up to get up or down commitments on specific programs to help those in need. Until now, they haven't asked county commissioners on deck, and after the last one, I went up and begged them, come on, bring us in, make us make commitments, and they finally have. Now, we're going to talk about how much this will cost and where we're going to get the money soon. Let me know what you think, like this video, and comment below. Now, how much is this going to cost? And where is it coming from? This will cost $5 million per year for 5 years. Remember, that's for 100 units per year. The idea is to fund this from the Blueprint sales tax funds, either the economic development funds or part infrastructure funds. Now, this is the same pool of funds that funded $20 million for the FSU football stadium last year, a university that currently is going to buy $9 million of private jets. This is exactly what I was talking about last year at the Blueprint meeting when I spoke against that. This year's Blueprint budget update shows a $115 million increase in projected sales tax revenue. And that's broken down $18 million for economic development and $97 million for infrastructure. Now, that money is currently offset by more than amount in project cost increases, but we can and should pull money from those other projects to support this critical issue for our neighbors. At the same time, Blueprint is increasing its debt issuance to cover roadway projects. We can find money for affordable housing, and we must. On the campaign, this is the #1 issue I heard from people. Now, some economic development incentive funds are increasing so much that they need us to increase the cap on those funds. We know that we can fund housing before increasing those incentive funds. Now, when is all this happening? I expect Capital Area Justice Ministry to bring this to public comment during the Thursday Blueprint meeting. I'm looking forward to us pushing this as economic development. Now, when I first started, I met with Blueprint for an introduction, and I brought up housing and access to early childhood education for parents entering the workforce as 2 key economic developments that we should be focusing on in Blueprint. I was informed that those are not in Blueprint's directive. I'm glad that it's time at least to get support to get affordable rental housing as part of this economic development mission. If you like this video, you'll like our briefs and recaps of all major commission meetings and local issues. Subscribe below to never miss an inside view from our office.